to enlighten you with their inspiring story. Our number 3 independent sales director at this conference. Independent Senior Sales Director Hollie Sherrick began her Mary Kay business in February 1998 and debuted as a sales director just 1 year later in February 1999. She is qualified for 14 career cars, including 12 beautiful pink Cadillacs. She is a 7-time member of the Queen's Court of Personal Sales and a 7-time member of the Queen's Court of Sharing, including once in the top 20. She has led her unit to achieve 24 unit circle appearances, including 2 times in the $500,000 Circle of Achievement and 13 times in the Circle of Excellence, her highest in the $950,000 Circle of Excellence. She has earned 13 top sales director trips, including 7 prestige trips. She is a 3-time double star and a 5-time triple star achiever. Please welcome, from Champaign, Illinois, and a member of the Cathyville area, Independent Senior Sales Director Hollie Sherrick.
Let me get situated. Readers check, that's the most important. Right now. Oh gosh, I don't have one of those phone holders. I'll hold it. Readers. I first want to give all the glory to my Heavenly Father. I'm so blessed to have this opportunity to share with all of you, and I'm humbled by His blessings. For the opportunity, I also want to thank my unit. We are tied to faith, wrapped in success, bearing sweet fruit. And this is our year. And I thank each and every one of you for your constant, unwavering belief, support, and unconditional love for me as your leader. This is it, girls. This is our year, our best year ever, the million. It's time. I also want to thank National Sales Director Don Otten-Sweeney, who has brought me back to the heart of the Mary Kay way. You are a true faith giant, and I'm forever thankful for your wisdom and leadership that has contributed to my growth this past year. Also, congrats to Marianne and Terry. I'm honored to share the stage with you and this pink life. 2 words, Focused Fridays. You know. So I am humbled to share my story with you and how consistent activity can create momentum in your business and what is possible when you do it over and over again, not waiting for the perfect timing or the ideal conditions. 27 years ago this very week, I was earning the use of a first career car. 6 weeks after joining, and a few months later, I would be headed to seminar as a brand new sales director in qualification, earning a seat next to my national sales director, Marilyn Welly Villela. The luncheon was called Alive with 35. How many of you remember that? We were celebrating the company's 35th anniversary, and at the time I was working 50 to 60 hours a week at my full-time job, single mom to Alec, age 3, who also happens to share a birthday with Mary Kay Ash. I had $50,000 in debt. I drove a dented up car with tires that were about to fall off, and my grandmother had been a cosmetics buyer for over 30 years, so I got all of my skincare and cosmetics for free. I was invited to a professional women's luncheon where the guest speaker happened to be a top sales director with Mary Kay. I did try the product a couple of different times before, and I even attended a success meeting at the age of 18. While I was impressed with her story, I assumed it to be just 1 in a million, until I found myself sitting in front of her a few days later, and she asked me the question, how comfortable are you with the fact that you don't have an extra $100, and when are you going to be ready to change that? In that moment, I made the life-changing decision. I was done with holding my breath every time I wrote the check for the groceries and praying that my paycheck would clear in time, worrying that my car was going to break down once and for all, and I was done choosing which bills to pay and tossing the others, knowing they would just come back next month. She shared with me at that appointment that her team was on track to achieve $1 million in sales that year, and she was looking for 10 women who could get excited about earning the use of a career card. Insert hand raise, that's me. And she said, You'll want to get this product introduced to 60 women, and you're gonna wanna share the opportunity with each and every one of them. On my goal poster, I had a picture of the ocean, the first vacation that my son and I would take together, the private school that I wanted to send him to, and that cherry red Grand Am. I knew that saying yes also meant being away from him a little bit more, but that it would just be temporary. So it wasn't an option for me not to back my goal with the activity. I was a woman of my word. I told my son that we would go to the beach, and I gave my sales director my word that I would be one of her 10. I got in front of those 30 faces. I made sure they heard the opportunity one way or the other, whether I got them in front of her at a guest event, a follow-up phone call. Sometimes I even defied some speed limits and drove them to her house on a lunch hour. I could only use my brother's name to get out of speeding tickets for so long before I ended up in court. We won't talk about that. But anyway, so in 6 weeks, I had earned the use of that red Grand Am, which also resulted in a $2,500 commission check, and I sold over $4,000 in product. And that was 27 years ago. It would probably be double today. I remained consistent, holding 3 to 5 parties, 5 to 10 interviews every single week. Everything you need to know, you're going to learn in the skincare class. And you're going to master it by doing it over and over again, virtual or in person. I plugged into everything she had in place for me with guests when it was a guest event. No less than 2 bookings every single day, no less than 30 faces every single month. That's the theme, right? Sounds like today. And tracking my activity with a weekly plan sheet. I went through 2 full director and qualification periods. My sales director did not let me whip people in. She wanted me to finish strong in the right way. Going into the last month, I only had 14 active team members, and back then you needed 30. We were hit with heavy snowstorms, and of course, everything canceled. But because of all the consistent work I had done leading up to that moment, it came together in the last 2 weeks. We went from 14 to 32, 31 of which were my personals, and once again, achieved over 20,000 in production. When you are brought to the edge and you've done the work and you refuse to quit, they always come. The results will always come. You will always cross that finish line. A few months later, I received a letter from the company congratulating my team on earning the use of the prestigious pink Cadillac. I called to make sure it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't. I had simply just been focused on Mary Kay Ash's formula of success every single month. For the next 4 years, I hovered over the unit clubs of 400,000 to 350, 400 to 350. And then we made the jump to 750, and I earned my first top sales director's trip to Greece. During that time, I was featured in the Applause magazine, a bittersweet moment, as it was a beautiful tribute to my grandmother, the cosmetics buyer, who also was always my greatest cheerleader. She passed away just 2 weeks after I brought her that copy of the article. I am so thankful that she was able to witness the impact of her legacy on my life, because I worked even when I didn't feel like it. That momentum led to being featured in the Imagine the Possibilities DVD with my son when he was 10. And along the way, I eliminated the $50,000 in debt. Bought our first home with 1 commission check as my down payment. It was my highest commission check, the $20,000 as a down payment. And I gave my son the gift of attending Judah Christian School from kindergarten all the way through high school. And of course, there were lots of beach vacations. At Alec and Kristen's wedding, Pastor Hank asked them, "Where do you see your family in 5 years?" Alec's reply was, "I only hope I can send my children to a Christian school like I was able to." It was such a full circle moment for me because my why has always been him. So I've always used him as my reason and never my excuse. I am, however, still waiting to become a lolly. They're in the process. I named myself that. I'm gonna be Lolly. He and Kristen live in Pensacola, where he is a commissioned officer in the Marine Corps and is currently in the helicopter advanced phase of flight school. The unforgettable adventures on the top sales director trips around the world have been some of the greatest joys in my life. My first 8 trips, I went as a single. And it was on those trips that I developed some of the most precious lifelong friendships. I married Greg almost 6 years ago. We honeymooned in Hawaii on an extended prestige trip, since I spent all of my money on Alec and Kristen's dream wedding. See, only in Mary Kay. But it was his #1 bucket list place to go. and it was all on Mary Kay. There's no trip like a Mary Kay Top Sales Director trip. Recently, National Sales Director Emeritus Jeannie Martin sent me a picture from a Top Sales Director trip to Sweden. It was a picture with some of the most inspiring women in Mary Kay, some of them here. Kim McClure, Lisa Ann Harmon, Tracy Giese, other top sales directors, and many who have already become nationals, having lunch at the most beautiful little cafe. That evening, we attended a gala dinner inside Sweden's City Hall. I know when I first heard City Hall, I was like, City Hall? But they said that it's a place that most locals have never even stepped foot into. We dined in the very room where the Nobel Peace Prize is presented, surrounded by 24-karat gold walls, and entertained by the best ABBA cover band you could ever imagine. It was the kind of night that you wanted to pinch yourself and say, is this real? But what stood out to me most wasn't just that trip, but it was after that special luncheon. Tracy Giese and Carolyn Dickinson scooped me up, and we hit the streets of Sweden on a mission. I was determined to find Ferrari-branded Puma soccer shoes for my son. We found them, remember? And when we finally found them, I just could picture his excitement. All of these years later, my heart's desire is to take Alec as my guest on a Top Sales Director trip as his flight school graduation gift. Again, another full circle moment when you don't give up. I was shopping for his shoes years ago, and now I'm working for a goal that will allow me to take him on a venture of a lifetime. And he can see why I've always made him my why. Two years ago, as we were on our way back from a trip to Florida, celebrating my sister Megan's 40th birthday party with her closest friends, she began experiencing strange dizzy spells. A visit to the emergency room revealed a brain tumor the size of a large man's fist. She was immediately referred to Barnes, where she underwent brain surgery to remove it, and then we received the devastating news that it was cancer. During that time, my family and I took turns staying at their home, caring for her young children, making dinners, helping with homework, especially since it was also farming season for my brother-in-law. The flexibility of my business allowed me to drop everything, even in the month of June, to be there when it mattered the most, and that was the greatest gift. There was chemo and another brain surgery to follow. My Bible study sisters, who are Mary Kay sales directors, and many who are in this room right now, lifted our family in prayer and helped me to stay strong. Today, I'm beyond grateful to say that Megan is cancer-free and doing great. Walking through that season with my sister reminded me how unpredictable life can be and how grateful for the choices and the flexibility that this business has given me. There's no other culture in the world than our pink community. Another beautiful woman who embodies strength and perseverance is our newest second-line sales director, Jennifer Buffington, who has faced incredible challenges, including a traumatic brain injury. But her story of resilience goes even deeper. She served in the National Guard and was deployed to the war zone in Iraq at 19 years of age. Her National Guard unit had the second most casualties in the US of A. She turned that trauma into purpose and wrote a book to help others navigate their own healing. On top of that, she balances her full-time job as a single mom to two beautiful girls and made the decision this past seminar to step up her business, and she debuted on December 1st as a brand new sales director. What makes her journey even more special is the woman who has been by her side through it all, her best friend and her senior sales director, Stephanie Brandt, who was also inspired at a career conference to go get her pink ticket. Both have been with me for over 20 years, and I've just watching them step into their full potential has been amazing. Seeing them power up together is a powerful reminder of what's possible when we surround ourselves with the right people. We follow the leader, and you stay focused on your why. The Mary Kay way has worked for 61 years. I'm selling more product than ever before, and team building has never been easier. Keep passing it on, remove the doubt, stop getting distracted by things that are out of your control, like in-touch changes. Just saying. Or on what you think you have to give up to move up. The only thing that we control, attitude and effort. Trust that the company has our best interest at heart. I trust Mary Kay more than ever, and I've never been more excited about the future of this company. Respect those who have gone before you, your national, your sales director. Lean on their belief when yours wavers. Let her lead. She is the sales director until you promote yourself to that position. There's no better time than to get your pink ticket. So why not you? And in closing, I want to encourage you to power up a growth mindset. I am so grateful that my Mary Kay business gave me the financial choices that I needed when my son was at his most expensive stage to help him have a dream wedding. Because let's be honest, they only get more expensive as they grow. Do you agree?
Yes.
But beyond the financial blessings, what I truly cherish are the areas of growth that money can't buy. My faith, my resilience, humility and teachability, unwavering gratitude, and God-blessed relationships. Those are the gifts that have shaped me the most, and for that I'm forever grateful. God is more interested in our hearts and building our character than any accolade or title. The process of refinement is necessary to effectively lead and to increase your faith and your reliance on Him. He is preparing you and shaping you into the leader He's called you to be. Just stay faithful and focused on your why. We've had the same goal of million, you heard, 965, for many years. But I know that His timing is perfect, and He knows. This is your moment, no matter how it looks in the natural. It's time to step up and step out in faith. Believe for it, go to work, march for that medal by the end of this month. One touch of God's favor can change everything in an instant. Do you believe in suddenlies? Will you answer the call? I will see you on that seminar stage in pink in Charleston. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Yes, we do have a lifetime of memories. I love